Alright, hello and welcome to my fifth tutorial on LibGDX. So today we are going to create the main menu for our game, but before we do that, let me just tell you a few things. At first I got this new awesome screen recorder, so we can record videos longer than 15 minutes, and I think that will be necessary for this episode. There will be a lot of stuff to learn, and I increased the font size here a little bit, so if you're watching on low resolution you can probably see it as well. So now, at first let's correct some mistakes or some things that were bad to do that I did in the previous episodes. Yeah, we got this sprite and we got this sprite batch, and the documentation says the sprite batch is a resource heavy object. So when we don't need it anymore, we would like to dispose it, as well as the texture of the sprite. Therefore we go on the dispose method, and like I said in tutorial 2, when the window is closed or when the screen is like thrown away, not needed anymore, this dispose method is called first. So we have the chance to clear all our resources and not slow the computer down. So at first we're going to dispose the batch. Everything that has a dispose method actually implements the disposable somehow. Oh yeah, usually it does, but this has its own dispose method. Or I just clicked on some crap. Open declare type and implements disposable. Yeah, correct. And everything that implements a disposable interface should be disposed, because it cannot be cleared by Java itself. So we have to do that as well for the splash screen. This doesn't have a dispose method itself, but we can get texture and dispose that. I don't know if it's necessary because it's on this way around, but for safety I'll just do it. So now one more thing, in our main method we could do that a little bit better. We use this always the same string here, but instead we could just use these variables. I mean, what did we create them for if we don't use them? So let's just do title plus white space v plus blackpoint dot to dot version, and actually blackpoint to dot here as well. And now we can also enable vsync. It's just syncing your frame rate with your update method. So we have lower frames, but of course still enough. Everything will look just like before, and this will just use way less CPU, so our application runs even faster. Now let's get to actually creating the menu. So we can do something better here as well. You remember the tween animations to fade in and out? This one fades in and this one fades out, in, and we can actually do that in one step. We don't need this at all. We just say dot repeat yo-yo, and this means that it just does the same thing again but in the opposite direction. So we wanted to repeat yo-yo once, and we want a delay of 2 seconds. That's just what we have before. So now let's check it out and see if it's still all the same. On the first start it takes some time. Yeah, it fades in, it stays for 2 seconds, and it fades out. Okay, I already thought it wouldn't. And here we see the title that we changed, Blackpoint 2 version, really early. Okay, so now we can add one more thing to the line, because we want to switch to the main menu actually when this is done. So we can set a callback, and by default this is called when the animation is done. We can also set other triggers on when it will be called, but we don't have to because this is the default. So we create a new tween callback and delete these unnecessary spaces here, and don't forget to put the dot here. It gives us some parameters, but actually we don't need them for what we're going to do. And now, how do we set the screen again? Right, we first set it in here in this black.2 method, and this extends game. We did that because only games can set the screen, so we have to get this game again. So to do that, we are going to use a static class GTX.app and then get application listener, because I hope you remember that the game class implements the application listener, and every application for LibGDX, like every main class here, it's not really the main class, but every application that we create here has to implement the application listener. So the game does that, so indirectly do it and get some more functionality, like setting the screen. Now we would think just, oh okay, set screen, but that does not exist. It just does not exist, because we actually have to say that this application listener is a game. Java doesn't know that yet, so we put this in parentheses and say it's a game. Now we can say set screen, and this is going to be a new main menu. We didn't create the class, so it gives us an error, but I hope this doesn't confuse you now if you don't know what casting is. If you put something in parentheses in front of some method that returns something, I mean this returns the application listener, and we know that it is a game, so we can just say it's a game, and it just merges it into one. Like, that's how we can imagine it. So like with this thing here, we actually get this class, this instance of it, and there we can say set screen new main menu. So let's actually go ahead and create a class main menu, and it already does this for us, that we implement the screen interface. Finish, and yep, it's in here. You see I already did create this main menu, but that's just if I don't get along in the tutorial now, I can have a look there. So let's delete all these unnecessary comments, and I drink something. Okay, what do we need to actually what is our main menu supposed to look like? Well, do I even record? Okay, I do. I already thought. The main menu is supposed to have a heading where it just says like black.2, and it's supposed to have buttons. One button for exit and one for play. We could do some more, but that's it for now. So at first we want to create a few things that we are going to need. Okay, let me just show you that really quick. Here in our GTX library we have this package called scene2d.ui for user interface, and here we have all the stuff that they already set up for us, so that's really handy. And to use it we need a stage where like we put the stuff on. It's all done with stage and actors. So let's create a stage first, import it, and what we want to put on that stage is actually a table. We do not have to do this, but it will make it kind of easier to get our objects or actors into the correct positions. So now we create a text button and we call that like button exit and button play as well, but we don't need the button play yet. And who dares to contact me? Dude, I'm totally recording a video right now. I can't talk to you right now. Let me just tell him that really quick. Okay, so I hope that does its job. Alright. So yeah, that's not all we need. Let me actually have a look at what we all need. Yeah, a lot of stuff. So before, no. What did we all need? Like, alright. Okay. Okay, that's good. The heading of our game doesn't come from like whatever we have to create that as well. Private label heading. A label is pretty much just displaying text, and when we do our import shortcut on the keyboard, we want to make sure to choose this one. And then we also need a skin. Actually, we can put it here. Private skin. The skin is pretty much the appearance of our buttons and just of everything that we are going to use. And I think we need one thing more. Yep, that's correct. Even two things. So a label obviously has a font. And since we can't just use our true type fonts from Windows or something, we'll use bitmap fonts. And we have one white font and one black font. That's what we're going to use. Also, we need a texture atlas, so that's a little bit more complicated. The text button has a background, and the background is a picture. It's not just a color. I think we could set just a color, but who wants that? That looks shitty. So we say like, let's do no. Let's do it here. Private. Yeah, texture atlas. Oh my god, I can't type. Atlas. So I think this is all the stuff we need to actually create our menu. I know this looks like much right now, but it's actually really handy, and if we want to create more like bigger user interfaces later, we're going to thank these guys that they made all this. Okay, so now before we actually can set that all up, like I said, the text button and the skin and the texture atlas, all that relies on images, and the font also doesn't come from nothing. We have to create it first. Bitmap font says it's using a bitmap image, so we have to create that image as well. Let's actually start off with the font. We get the font by creating it with some programs. We have two choices here. I'm going to introduce to you, if my Firefox doesn't, okay, sorry, and just let it chill a little bit. Looks like it's doing something. Okay, there we are. Yeah, it's still doing something. My PC is so fast. It's just amazing. Okay, we want to use angel code. Hello. Okay, I'm sorry. angelcode.net, or was it something like that? I don't remember anymore. But it was definitely the angel code. Okay, it was not that domain. Oh god, it's so slow. BM font, yeah. Then we just start up that program. Bitmap font generator. This is what it's going to look like. But now let's just download it. Bitmap font generator. And it's actually angelcode.com. Well, why do I always think of .net? So we just go on hello on angelcode.com, and oh, they changed their website appearance pretty damn much. It didn't look like that before. But here we got BM font, a free bitmap font generator, and then we're just going to download the installer. And yeah, we just install that, and I think you know how to install a program. So once you installed it, we just start it up, and now we can generate a bitmap font out of the TrueType fonts that we already have installed on our computer. So let's go ahead and go font settings. We're going to choose, yeah, what font is that actually that we used before? I think it was something down right here. What is? No, that, I guess that would suck. Yeah, Okra AST. I think that's what I used. Looks kind of shitty, but let's just keep a style of our game. We could also just put our own font file in, but we don't do that because we already have it installed. The charset is going to be Unicode. This is like pretty much the normal charset that everything uses, and we want all this good stuff here. We don't want it to be bold or italic, and that's just fine. Do we want an outline? No, we don't want an outline. We just say okay, and now we see it changed these letters here. So now export options, and this is where we come to the interesting part. We'll use 32-bit depth, and here we can like set all this stuff. I don't actually got all of this yet, but they have presets. So let's just create the white font. Yeah, so the alpha value of every single like letter, character, yeah, is going to be, yeah, glyph is actually character, so it's just going to be like what that character says, and we want the R, G, and B values to be 1, so this will create a white appearance, white color. And then we can choose what we want. If we want that as text, XML, or binary, we're going to choose text because we just can. And instead of Targa, I'm going to use PNG, and this doesn't matter. It's just 1 anyway. Okay, so I think that's fine. That is fine. And now we have to choose the character that we actually want to include in our bitmap font. We can click on them to see what these contain, and I think I want pretty much all. Like what's that? And I don't even know what kind of crap that is, but if we're going to type it sometime, we are happy if it's in. I have to say that the more of these we choose, the more images it's going to create. What? There's not even something in, we don't need that, and there's nothing in as well. Okay, so now we can go visualize, and then we're going to see what the picture is going to look like. And yeah, it's going to create 2 images, and yeah, let's just save the bitmap font right now. Desktop. black point 2, and let's create a new folder called font, and inside there we're going to create it, save it as white.fnt and save that. So let's see how it, oh god, why do we always have this background? I want that one. Font, and here we have these images. We can't see anything on them now because white on white just doesn't look so good. So now let's change our export options to black text. That's nothing different, just RGB 0. The rest can just stay the same, and we save that as black. Now we can exit that out, and we got our font files. So now let's actually go into our assets folder, and yeah, we can just drag and drop the font folder right in here. So there we are, we have all the files. If you have a look at one of these font files here, okay, let's actually open that up with Eclipse. Hello, I clicked on that. Open with text editor. So here we see that these images are called pages, and it refers here to the image names. So you could probably just rename it to, I don't know, and then you have to rename the image here as well. And here it defines all the characters, and you obviously don't want to do that by hand. This is why it's useful to have such a tool do it for you. So now we can actually load our bitmap fonts into the main menu. Right here we can say white equals new bitmap font, and we give it the file handle and the other thing I'm going to explain just right after that. So you remember the file handles from our static class GTX files dot internal, because it's just internal. We always need it, so we can include it in the jar. Yeah, and it's the folder font white.fnt, just like that. And then we have this boolean flip. That's used, we set it to false, because if we set it to true, the characters are flipped. Yeah, good Nacht. Yeah, okay, that was my mom. The characters are flipped to, because, you know, LibGDX uses this y-axis up system. So the y-axis goes like this, and the x-axis goes like this. But usually the y-axis goes like this, goes like down, and the x-axis goes still to the right. So if we were using a coordinate system where the y-axis goes down, we would set this to true. But since we don't, we just leave it at false. False, yeah. I drink something. My mouth gets so dry from speaking. So black is a new bitmap font as well. gtx.files.internal font black.fnt false, and now ready to go with our font files. Still, that's not all we need. We have somewhat more stuff to go. So yeah, let's let's continue. How long is this video already, man? It's gonna take some time to upload. Okay, so we got our fonts. We got these. Let's just say done. Now we want the texture atlas, because I'm just going to show you that real quick. We create atlas equals new texture atlas, and here we have the nice opportunity to just give the string instead of using gx files internal. Internal, yeah. And since this doesn't exist yet, it doesn't work, but we can already like put the path in, and that is going to be UI button.pack. Yeah, that's going to be the atlas file. And do we have to do anything? No. But now that we have our atlas, that is like defining the regions of a sprite image that we're going to create, we can make our skin, because the skin equals the skin, which takes the texture atlas, and that's called atlas. So now we have our atlas and our skin set up. We are going to use the atlas and the skin to create the text button, the label, yeah, pretty much the label, and yeah, we're not even going to use it for a label, it's all just for the text button. So yeah, we need another program for that. I have already got it installed, and it's the GTX TexturePacker.jar. I don't know where I got it from actually. I think it was somewhere in here, but I didn't find it when I had a look. So in case you don't find it yourself, you'll probably be able to find it on the internet. In case you don't find it, I just uploaded it. So you go to my website and then stuff YouTube slash, yeah, that's actually enough, stuff YouTube Java game development, and I moved the projects into the project folder here, but we still have this downloads, and right here the GTX TexturePacker is, so you can get it from there if you don't know where to get it from. So once we downloaded that, we can just execute it. Yes. Where? Okay. Let's create a new, well, a new pack. So the pack is going to be called button, because we want to put the textures of the button in. Don't be confused by all of this now. We first have to get the actual images that we're going to pack at first. So where do I have those? Where do I have those? Yeah, where do I have those? I think I don't have those anymore. So we'll have to create those. I think I've got some nice images. You know, you can just draw your own images for that, but actually it's going to take some time. I can exit that out. LibTVL, hello TVL, and yeah, here we got some nice images, don't we? Of course you don't have this file now. I'll probably upload it somewhere as well, but we are going to use just this and this, correct? Yeah, just this and this is what we're going to use. So we have to get these out of here, and yeah, let's just do that. We'll copy this. Hello, did you copy it? Alright. And just put it on our desktop, like .2, create a new one called user interface and put it in here. And now I'm going to use the most professional tool that ever existed on Earth, and then go edit, and bam 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 bam. We just take this out of here. Now blip, and we just need this. So now we can go like save as PNG and call it button.normal. Yeah. Now we can all undo it again, and now we select this one here. I did that right? Yeah, I did that right. And I'm gonna like this and paste that in. Is that really right? Come on, I mean, this and then this. Yeah, that is alright. So we're just going to save that as a PNG. Button dot pressed, and there we are. Actually, let's not call these normal and pressed, but let's call them what we're going to call them in the code later, which is up and down, like the button is up and down. Now, before we can put them into the texture packer, we can do something pretty handy. And since you already got the Android ADK installed, because you need it for all of this, I talked about that in the first episode, you already have a tool for that, and I've just created this bad file to actually assess it. But let's see what's in there. Oh my god. Okay, I actually didn't create it, I don't know. Oh yeah, that's a shortcut. So let's go properties, and here we see where it is at. Let's just copy that and make a new window for a computer, and it's going to be on your local hard drive. Then it's going to be, yeah, where it's going to be. Oh yeah, in program files, Android SDK. I just want to show you a path. I could also just enter that, but okay, tools, and there we find this draw9patch.bat. This is what we want to execute. You can also just like create a shortcut for it for like somewhere, but I already did that, so we just want to execute that. After a while, we get this, and now we open a file, open 9patch, and 9patch is pretty much just, yeah, you'll just see in a moment, like .2 UI and button dot, let's begin with up, and open that. So you now see all this stuff here. Show bad patches. No. We now have the opportunity, like when we get the with the mouse close to here, there comes this little rectangle, and we can draw these things on here like that. Yeah, we want to draw these black lines. The black lines are pretty much just the area that's going to be resized when the button has different sizes, so that these edges stay the same size and don't get all messed up, but this this pink area is going to be resized. What's pink is going to be resized, and what's green is not going to be. So we have to do that for the top as well. Bam, 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 bam. I think that is correct. No, that is correct. And now we can see how it's going to look in different sizes. If this would like get a little bit closer to us, oh here, zoom. Not this zoom, I mean patch scale. Yeah. Okay, I messed it up. We don't want this. Yeah, this is how we want it. You see, in all different sizes, it still looks like a normal button. So once we got that, we just go File, Save 9patch, and we'll call it button dot. Is that up or now? It's up. Okay, button dot up dot 9.png. This 9 is going to be important for the texture packer. Now we open another 9patch, UI, button down, open, And now we can do the same thing. We're going to use this area here, yeah, and this area right here. I think show patches. Well, I don't get along with that. Okay, so we don't want to use this. We want to use it like this. Yeah, with a right click you can remove that area. So this looks like a normal button, all nice. Save 9 patch button.down.9.png, and now we can exit that out. So now we should have all this fancy stuff in here. Yeah, so we don't need this anymore, we don't need this anymore, we don't need this anymore. So let's just delete them. Now we've just got these .9 images left. Now we can open up the TexturePacker. And create a new package, a pack called button. And then we're going to choose our input directory, which is desktop blackpoint to user interface. And the output directory is actually going to be the same. So desktop blackpoint to user interface. We can put that output. Yeah, that was just very intelligent. Let me actually just copy and paste that in here. File name is going to be, okay, we can just leave it blank for pack name.pack. That's fine. Let's see what kind of stuff we have here. It's all fine, isn't it? Page height width, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Force power of 2. Since we use OpenGL 2.0, we can uncheck that, because power of 2 is just for OpenGL 1. Yeah, it requires that every texture has a size that's a power of 2. So it's like power of 2 is like 2. Okay, this is too shitty to make it work, but it's like 2 times 2, yeah, and then 8, then 16, 32, and you know these numbers, they're from bit size and stuff like that, but we don't want these dimensions, so we just uncheck that. Then we go, alright, that's actually alright, I guess. So we just go like pack them all, and it's done. And we get our files right here. This and this file, they are new. Actually, what did he put around there? Okay, it's not really necessary, but I think that looks kinda crappy. New pack button, still the same directory, but we want no padding at all. Yeah, and we want the whole fucking quality, even though we are going to have PNGs, but I don't know, let's just do it like that. And close, and there we are. This looks way better. You just see the up image and the down image. So now you wonder, like, where the heck are these black bars go that we just draw on them? Well, it removes them, because if the file name ends with .9 and then .png, it knows that it's a 9 patch, and that brings up this split stuff here, which we'll use in our program. Well, the program will pretty much just use it by itself, so we don't need these two anymore. Let's actually just keep them. I don't know what the heck we're going to use them later for. So let's say new package inside here, UI, and we want to put these two in there. Copy files. There we are. Yep. So Oh my god, how long is this episode? Like an hour on? Okay, that just says that I should go to bed, and I even got a SMS. What the fuck? Okay, that's going to be some interesting conversation later. Holy shit. So now we defined this UI button.pack before. Now it actually exists. Here it is, UI button.pack, and we create a new skin with it. So now we can do all the rest. Okay, so we got the texture atlas, that's done, and we got the skin, that's done. So now what's left is pretty much the most basic thing, the stage at first. Let's actually create that at first. Stage equals new stage. We can just do it like that and it will be just fine. Then we need the table equals new table, and we can put the skin on it, but that has to happen after that, obviously. We don't really have to put the skin in there, but since there's a constructor where that's possible, we just want to do that. We don't have to do, because we're going to define the rest manually later anyway. So the table, like I said, is going to align all the buttons and the label, the heading. So it's like a container for that. So we want to put the table right to the set bounds. Yeah, set bounds is good. We want to put it. Yeah, where would you want to actually put that thing? Let's actually have a look how I did that here. I said table is a new table. Okay. Oh well, that makes sense. We just set it to 00, which is the bottom left corner, and then we say GTX.graphics.getWidth and GTX.graphics.getHeight. So this way we set it pretty much to the whole screen. Now we can create we can create our buttons. And actually we wanna no, we don't wanna do that yet. We just wanna create our buttons. So we go like button exit equals new text button, which is going to take a text, which is exit, and the skin, which is skin. But I don't know if that's such a good idea. Yeah, we're going to use the text button style one, which is going to be text button style. We don't use skin here because I think it would have to be like specially just designed for whatever. Let's actually see, is there something skin dot? Yeah, you see all that stuff here. We would have to set that, and we would actually have to load the skin from a JSON file, and we don't want to do all that complicated stuff right now. We would just want to set the new button with a text button style, and the button exit. Let's just create the text button style. So text button style, text button style equals new text button style. Isn't that great? Yeah. So what's the problem? Import. Correct. Now we can say text button style dot up. That's why we call the images button dot up and button dot down. Up is just like normal, when the button just exists and nothing happens with it. So equals, and now this up is, as you can see if you hover over it, it's a drawable. And we get these drawables from the skin. So we say skin.get drawables, and now we just have to set it to whatever we called it. And we can actually have a look in that. You know, the skin takes the texture atlas, and the texture atlas is button.pack. So if we have a look in button.pack, we see these names here, button down and button up, which is pretty much just the part of the file name that it had, because you know before it was .9.png and the texture packer just cut that away, and now we have these left. We could also just rename them, but since it's already alright, we just use button.up, and that gives us the drawable. So now the same thing for down is skin.get drawable button.down. Exactly. That's actually all we need for the button right now. We could do fancy stuff like hover animations, and this kind of sucks. Okay, hover animations and yeah, everything. We can do some other cool stuff. Now we have the button pressed animation, and we actually want the text on the button to be pressed as well. So that looks just a little bit better. So we say text button style dot pressed offset x. That is just yeah, it equals to 1, because we're going to use going to move the text on the button one more to the right on the x-axis than it was before, and text button style dot pressed offset y equals, actually, yeah, -1, because we want to move it 1 down on the y-axis. So I think that's all we need for the text button style. Is that true? Yeah, font. We want to set the font to black. Pretty simple. Just the font that the button is going to use. Now let me check that I really didn't forget anything. Yeah. We're going to see if it's given as an error. So now we have this button set up, and let me just drink something. And when I say something, I mean water. Okay. So now we wanna set. Actually, no. Usually we go ahead and set the position of our button, but since we have our awesome table, we can just put the button into the table, and that does pretty much work for us. So yeah, but we wanna, you know, the way the button looks now isn't this great, because we just got exit, and exactly around it there's the button edges, so it just looks like exit. But you know, on these normal buttons, let me just get one of these buttons. Where do we get one of these normal buttons? Well, I guess you know what a normal button looks like here. You see, there's a little bit of space between the actual text and the edges, and we want that as well. So we say button exit dot pad, which is padding, and padding is the what was it? Well, it's somehow the yeah, you know what I mean. Don't know the word in English right now. So the float is going to be like, that's the pixels. Actually, I don't know why they use float then, but we want it to be like 20 pixels everywhere. Couldn't we actually do that in here? Nope, we can't. So we have to do it right here, because the padding has something to do with the actual text, and the text button style doesn't know any of the text. So now we want to Yeah, actually I just see that we use black here and we have these right there, so we probably want to do it like actually, yeah, like this. And now we want to put add the button to the table. So we just go table dot add button exit, and we want to add the table to the stage. Stage dot add actor table, and just that we know everything, it makes it a little bit easier to see and understand. We're gonna say table dot debug, which just enables all the debug lines. It's just like red lines showing us where the cells end and start and stuff like that. So now we are still not done. I know this is a lot right now, but just watch the video twice or something, or check out the code on my website there, you know the link, and it's actually not this complicated. You're going to get it. Okay, I don't want to torture you anymore. Let's just see our first run. We still don't have, you know, we have the table, we have the stage, we just don't have the heading yet, but we'll add just later. Render. So we want the stage to act, which basically means update everything in it. And since the stage has the table in it right here, it also updates the table and everything in that, and just like that. We can pass in the delta value here. If we don't, it just gets it from somewhere else, but since we already have it, we just put it in. Doesn't matter actually. And then stage dot draw, and this is just where everything gets visible. But before all of that, we want to use typical GTX clear color. What the heck? Clear color 0001 and GTX.gl clear gl20.gl color buffer bit, and there we are. So this just you know, clears everything with a black background. And yeah, is that everything? Yeah, I'll just show you something that you're going to see now. Now I'm really looking forward to if that's going to work without testing it even once. Let's see if that's going to work. Now a tween callback comes in. Yeah, is that awesome or what? Our tween callback just like here we got the splash, and here is our tween callback, and that changed everything to the main menu, and it created all of that stuff. And here's a button. I wonder where the debug lines are. Oh yeah, the debug lines. We have to actually draw them as well. That's a little bit weird, but we just go table, and be sure to put make the first a capital letter, and then draw debug, and we have to put the stage in. I have no idea why they did it this complicated, but whatever. we have to enable debug here before anyway, because this table pretty much draws the debug lines for every table that exists on this stage, and just if it is enabled, and we did. And actually we want to remove that later because in the game it looks like shit. So now let's see. Yeah, and exit, and you see these red, just real small corners, like the outline here. That's actually the debug lines. But there's one essential thing missing. We can't freaking click the button. Like, what did we create the fucking button for if we can't even click it? And that is because we have to do this. Yeah, it's good like this. GTX input, which pretty much is just a reference to all the input stuff that happens, like mouse events, keyboard events, everything. Dot set. What up? Dot set input processor. Yeah, just like that. And this stage is just one of them. Let's actually have a look at that. Oh, here we are. The stage open declare type extends input adapter, and that input adapter implements the input processor. So the stage has an input processor inside it, so we can just set the stage as an input processor, and that already enables us to click the button. Perfect. Works just fine. You see that the yeah, I hope, yeah, probably use HD resolution or something. I can make it a little bit bigger. That the actual the text is going like one to the right and 1 pixel down, and you see these debug lines here as well. So okay, now we still wanna put the heading into our table, so that's pretty much the same stuff as all of this. We just go heading equals new label, and we want to use this one. Text is going to be you know, we could just say like black point 2 or something, but we are going to use black point 2 dot title, just like we did on main class, and the style is going to be yeah, let's just call it heading style. So now we have to set that up. Label style heading style equals new label style. Is that correct? Labels? What? Like what is taken here? Label style. So what? New label. Okay. There is something weird that I already found out right here, and let's just have a look. Label style equals new label style. What the fuck? Label style equals new label style. Oh god, do we have to import that before or something? Yeah, there it is. So we want to put the font in, and this is going to be white, and the font color, well, is obviously color.white. That's actually it. And if you put the color in there, we want to make sure that it's a com.badlogic.gtx.graphics.color and not like a java.awt.color or something like that. Now we can say heading style. Is that all? Yeah, it just has background, font, and font color, and we are not going to put any background behind the label, so that's just fine. Now we can do heading dot. Even the heading can act, man. Oops, heading dot, and that's pretty much just all fine, isn't it? Yeah, it is. See, the heading is really simple. We just want to add table dot add heading to it, and yeah, now let's actually put some comments in there, like creating heading, and here we want to like creating button yeah, buttons, because later there's going to be another button. And here we say like creating fonts. Here that is all self-explanatory. I love that word. Heading, yeah, and putting stuff together. Okay. Yeah. Now we're just going to, I mean, it's not like it's supposed to be right now. We are going to see that just in a moment. Probably we should reduce the time for this fading stuff here. Yeah, you see that that's kind of, oh my god. That's even shittier than I thought it would be. Look at how fucked up that is. Okay, that's not good. Okay, we should probably choose another font. That doesn't look so great anyway. But you see way more debug lines. Like the red ones show us where the cells are. The green one shows us where the label is. And we don't want the label to be just right beside the button. I mean, that's weird. We want the heading to be over the rest. So we say table dot row, and that's it. Meaning we're adding a new row to all that stuff. So that should look better. Oh my god, we have to really reduce the things. Yeah, that looks better already. But seriously, let's just quick fix a few things. Yeah, I mean, it just looks so damn not good. Actually, we could just make another font and probably not include all these Unicode things that I included in it. Probably that screwed it up. But I already got in here assets, font. I got these other fonts here and they work at least a little bit better. So let's try these out. Yeah, I want to override all that, and because I always do my stuff the same way, I also named them the same way, so it should just work. Yeah, looks like it just works. Hopefully, no error right now. No error, no error. Yeah, I mean that looks a little bit better, doesn't it? It's still fucked up, but it's just all about the font, about how many characters you put in there and stuff like that. Okay, now actually to change the font size you have no choice than just increasing it in the editor. You can't do that in code. Sucks pretty much, I know, but has to be like that. I still think it's a little bit weird that the heading is just exactly over the button. So table dot, what do we have? I think we have something like get pad. Yeah, we can set the pad somehow. So we want to say pad bottom, pad left, pad. Are they kidding me? They've left, right, here, bottom. Okay. So we want to set that to like actually 50. But is that really the best thing they have? Yeah. Oh no, that's a way better idea I just got. We don't want to do that here because that would apply that to all the things inside there. That means also for the buttons and everything. But we just go, I mean, we put padding in here. So why don't do it in here? Heading dot. Oh, come on. Heading dot. Well, that sucks. Set whatever web front. Oh my god, what do they all have? Scale. Oh, we can actually change the font size. So let's actually do that, because it's a little bit too small, don't you think? So it's a scale, so it's like percent, so 1, actually let's do it like 3. Not this much. Good that I had a look. But I'm still not satisfied with this. Heading style dot no. Alright. I'm having a look at that for the next episode, how to do that. But let's just see how it looks right now. Okay, that's probably a little bit too big, but it's better than nothing, right? So yeah, let's actually give some functionality to this, and then we're done with the episode. I think it's like hours long. I have to cut it in multiple episodes. Oh god. Okay. Who's going to watch all this? Yeah, we want to put some functionality into a button. And that's actually pretty simple. We just go button exit dot set what do we set? How's that called? Dot add listener, yeah. And we choose a new click listener for that, which we have to do like this. And inside here we say clicked, and then you just say control space and gives you this, and you press enter and remove all of this, and all we want is to actually exit. So gtx.app.exit. Pretty simple, huh? We didn't use the button play yet, so let's just remove it, and there's no warning up here anymore. So now let's reduce the timer for splash. We just want that to be like 0.5f. It takes so much time every time we start it up. And now rip, and yeah, now it exits out. Okay, so great. Thanks really much for watching all of this. I think I'm going to cut it in at least 3 episodes, because I think I just recorded over 1.5 hours. Oh my god. Okay, so I'm gonna have some fun uploading this right now, and yeah, thanks for watching. There will come some more episodes, I hope soon, and yeah, thanks for watching.